All right, so feet together, toes together. And let's take a bow. So feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, hips tucked, shoulders relaxed. And owl gazes backwards, palms parallel to the ground, and open the chest. Look over the shoulder. And back. And oh. Oh, back to center. Swimming dragons. So just gently waking up the body. And oh, hips are tucked, knees are bent. Separating heaven and earth. Palms up and back to center. Separating the hands, stretching and back. And back to center. Bend forward. So straighten the legs. Roll down. Come back up. Unfolding the spine, hands on the kidneys, lean back. And back to center. Knees bent. And again, straighten the legs. Roll down. And back up. Kidneys. And back to center. And again. Come back up. Kidneys back. And back to center. Knees bent, hips tucked. One last time, swinging from foot to foot. And straighten the legs. Roll down. And back to center. And the kidneys lean back. And back to center. Carry the tiger. Let's do one more. Hold. Basic posture. Hold. Up. And cow gazing at the moon. Palms out. Twist the spine. And back. One more set. Back to set. 9 ghosts drawing swords. Elbow to the knee. Come back up. And twist, look over the shoulder. Play the pipa. Shift, turn, forehead to the knee. That's it. Back to center. Now horse stance. Squat. Push the knees apart. And sit up. Bear shaking its tail, so turn, sweep to the other side, look over the shoulder, and back. And other side. Oh. One more set. And now squat, toes down. Shift. And shift, toes up. And shift. And back to center. Walk the feet in. All right. So let's continue with our look at the push hands basic exercises. Right? So we'll discuss this more in the membership, but let's go over, and we'll go over the first four this time. So we've done the other three. So let's go back to horizontal arm sweeps. So rear leg, in my case, the left leg back, pointed to the diagonal, front leg points front, that's my front. And we're going to sit down. And just remember, knee is always in line with the foot. So it's opening of the waist, opening of the hips. Rotation is in the hip, not in the knee. So horizontal arm sweep. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switch. Same thing on the other side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And switch. Vertical arm sweeps. Same physical motion at the bottom. Now the arms are going to go along the vertical plane. So 1 on the rise, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and switch. And sitting down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and switch. So remember, we were sitting back. So remember, sitting back is here. Hips are sliding forward. The back is not bending. It's the knees that are bending. Hips are tucked. Same foot relationship. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Switch. So now the fourth exercise, which is bending forward. Remember, not sticking the butt out. The hips are still tucked. So fold across the midline, across the belly button. Sitting up. There's no weight on that front foot. Palms come up facing each other. So the arms are still swinging. Right, palms facing each other. So let's try that. And 1, looking up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right. So again, we're doing these a little fast. They're not meant to be done like the form, because you do want to find that momentum in the arms, how movement in the lower body produces motion in the arms, right? Which is why you want to have relaxed shoulders so that the momentum can generate that motion from the shoulder. You're not bringing the arms up, you're letting the shoulders swing, right? All of these movements. So again, generating movement from the core. One thing also to take away from these exercises and push hands in general is the idea of the geometry, the directions that you're creating, right? So there's always a point, a direction of intent, right? So if you're doing horizontal arm sweeps, it's not just flopping around. There's your diagonal, which is your rear, your front is forward, and when you turn, You're still looking forward. And all of that rotating motion is in relationship to the front, to that center line, which is the direction of your intent. So we're having all of these various geometries, right? Or even vertical arm sweeps. The shoulders are rotating with the hips, right? Or sitting back. The body is moving in all these different directions, but it still has a central pillar, a single leg that is supporting you, from which all this movement is happening, right? And there's also a direction in terms of your intent, because all these everything is happening around that central vertical, and within the axis of your intent. And that's a really important thing to keep, because it's a mental thing. So that when you sit back, you come back forward. So it's not flopping backwards. It's receiving and sending back, receiving and sending back. So the intent is still focused, it's still there. So even though the body is moving, and in this case here is moving literally away from the vertical, it's away towards, away and back. The intent is still there, here, no matter which direction the body moves. So, which is really what the upper dantian, in a way, represents. This idea that everything moves, so lower dantian or the hips move in a certain direction, middle dantian or the shoulders move in a certain direction, upper dantian also moves, except that it maintains the direction, it maintains the intent, right? It tells you where your mind should be, essentially, as you do both the push hands, but also the form, right? The head is not just traveling and just kind of following along. The head houses the intent, houses the eyes. It's the direction in which you move. It's the direction in which you're projecting energy. So when there is a change, when we look back, it's on purpose. It's not just, the head is just turning around. No, we're going we're projecting energy that way. Then we turn, now we're going this way. And as you move, as you do all these moves, there's a single line of intent, right? So this is where we're really stacking these three centers. To call them dantians is iffy. I'm doing it, but it's not quite accurate, because I'm using it as in a more general term of center energetically, but also physically, and in this case in terms of intention. So lower dantian in the hips, middle dantian in the shoulders, upper dantian in the head, where the eyes are your intent, right? So as we do the push hands exercises, don't lose this upper dantian. Don't lose the intent. Don't just kind of like and just kind of flop around. The whole point is energy's coming, absorb, push back, absorb, return. Right? It's receiving, it's moving the body in relationship to this architecture that we have. Vertical, with the intent, with the position of the feet. Right? And which is what we want in the form. Grasp the sparrow's tail, for example, is not just like, where I'm just kind of looking in. Grasp the sparrow's tail is my intent is here, I deflect, I come back. The intent is there, right? So we're learning how to move, have this enormous freedom in movement, both within the body, in terms of how the body itself moves, and in terms of stepping, but training the intent to stay with our opponent, which is essentially to stay forward, to stay connected. Right? That's the meditative part of the Tai Chi practice itself, is a sustained attention. It's also one of the core ideas behind the Tai Chi fighting philosophy, is the sustained intent. Right? You connect, you stick, and once you stick, you don't let go of that intent. That's what you follow. That's what you have things like following, adhering, and all that kind of stuff. That's what you have in the Tai Chi classics. Talk about your opponent moves first, but my fist lands first. Right? The other guy moves, and then you're going to follow. Yeah, you stick until finally there's a final punch. Right? So that's the idea. So that's why the training within the push hands is training for something slightly different from everything else. In this particular case, it's attention, intent, organizing everything into an organized whole. All right, so let's take that to the 13 postures. Let's do 13 postures and keep that intent. Or keep in mind, you do 13 postures with the sense of importance of the direction, or directionality, intentionality, right? Where's the energy coming from? And where are you sending it? Where's your partner, or in this case, where's the attack coming from? Right? So that you maintain that the intent is always there. All right, 13 postures. So feet together, toes together. And hold. 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 ho, 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 Ooh. All right. And one thing I just want to say, this emphasis on intent, and like imagining force coming towards you and then pushing it back. It all brings the idea of, like a hard style, like, oh, we're fighting. It doesn't have to be that way. The intent has to be there, but the tension doesn't have to be there. It just doesn't have to be a fighting a mindset throughout. But the intent has to be there for two reasons. One of them is that, as seen the classic, Yi guides the Qi, so the intent guides the energy. So you have to have the intent so that the energy is actually made to move throughout the body, because otherwise, if you're just kind of moving your arms around with no intent, there is no energy work happening. You have to have the intent. You have to know that you're going this way, and then you're pulling back, and then you're going this way, because then the energy is following through all of this, right? Like this, it's like threading a needle through the 9-hole pearl. So that's one of them. The other thing is, the unified intent is also what you want to have so that you're training the body to move as a one. Because one of the common things that we have is there's a separate, especially in the West, right? We're separating head from body. And like there's a lot of stumbling that happens because we're sending mixed signals to the body. where you're going, oh, I want to go this way. No, actually, maybe this way. Oh, actually, I forgot something over there. And then you stumble and you fall because simply you don't have a single intent for the body to follow. So one of the trainings that is actually really important in terms of translating the benefits of Tai Chi into the daily life is this idea of single intent. This idea that you're sending clear signals to the body that when you want to do something, you go, oh, I'm going to go that way. Then I'm going to go that way. And no matter how complicated things are, you can still have that, maintain that intent that then sends nice, clear signals. The whole body can then follow that intent without stumbling over, right? So getting to that point of clear, single intent, unified body is the goal of all of this, right? So you don't have to treat this as, a reenactment of some kind of Hong Kong action movie. You can because it's fun, but you don't have to. You don't have to do it with that mindset, but you do have to do it with the intent. You do have to do it with the clear focus. So whether in your own head, the imagery that you use is not of a fight, but for example, you're going to be painting, right? Your hands are ink brushes and you're just moving through space and you're painting these beautiful things. You still need to have that intent. You still can't be waving hands around and moving in random directions. You still have to have precise intent, drawing shapes, right? So the whole body moves at once. All right, speaking of body moving at once, let's do Celestial Tiger. So feet parallel, knees bent, hips tucked. So repeat this 3 times. Find your center, breath into the belly. And raise the arms. Halt. So palms down. Halt. Palms up. Halt. Fingers pointing up. Pointing up. Drop the arms up in the chest, the heavens. Reach back. Drop down. Oh. And that's it. And feet together. And take it out. All right. Class continues at Hidden Tai Chi.